Hello everyone!
Welcome to our channel! Recently, we've got a lot of comments asking us what kind of relationship we are. If we are married, with a boyfriend, girlfriend, friends, maybe a fake couple. So, today's video, we decided to clarify these questions for you.
Some people might notice on the title of our video, we say boyfriend and girlfriend and my wife and my husband. The reason why we do is because the situation is complicated. And in Korea, we signed up for the paper, but we didn't have a wedding party in Korea. If you want to be considered as a married couple, you should have an actual wedding party in Korea that everybody sees you are getting married. We didn't have honeymoon, right?
We didn't have the party because of pandemic.
Yeah.
I understand Jun's reason. As we are in Korea, it's very important to him. It's because everybody would be wearing masks and he didn't want to see any pictures or videos where people are using masks in our wedding. So we decided to wait.
I didn't want to make other people uncomfortable because this wedding party should be pleasure. But a lot of people wearing masks, people might feel uncomfortable because they might be worried about the situation.
We are half and half married in Korea. What about Brazil?
We are not married in Brazil.
Brazil, I'm still single. I'm single.
You are not.
I am single. I am single. Why? Okay, we signed the papers in Korea. I went to Brazil embassy. I delivered to them the document. They gave it to me a marriage state in Korea, but to legalize our marriage, I need to come back to Brazil and give this document to a special place where they can legalize our marriage. But so far I couldn't go because of the pandemic. So Brazil doesn't know that I'm married.
Not fair. So that's the reason sometimes we are girlfriend and boyfriend and sometimes we're a married couple.
We didn't feel like we are married because we didn't have everything related to the wedding.
It's very sad because we were about to have a wedding party right before the pandemic. We took our wedding photos and we are actually all prepared, but it is what it is.
In Brazil, will take a little bit more time because June needs to get baptized in Catholic Church.
It will be a long journey for our wedding because we need to get married in Korea, then we need to go to Brazil, we need to get married in Brazil, we need to get the documents done. Another problem, she is half Brazilian, half Italian, so we need to
also legalize
work on
everything
it,
in Italy. A curiosity, how was the propose of this marriage? It's very funny because he thinks I proposed him. What's not true, because I remember clearly he telling me, Camila, it's better we get married so that I can protect you. I think this was the day he asked me to marry him.
She told me that, June, I think we should get married. I said, why? Because I want to take care of you. June, no, I should. I really enjoy staying with you, and I want to get married.
This is true. I really enjoy staying with you, but
really...
it doesn't mean I asked him to marry me.
So because after that we are agreed.
Agreed about what?
The marriage, no?
It's so cute when you dream. I really like to listen to your dreams, the way you fantasize with me. It's a pleasure.
I think we got married because of our misunderstandings.
Well, he called me one day, asked me to get dressed because we are going to the city hall to sign our papers. We went there. In 5 minutes we signed the papers and then we went back to work. Was like this.
Well, I was
like this. So you can blame me. I don't feel like I was bride in a moment apart from the pictures because I was wearing a white dress.
The reason it's more complicated is because it is more likely a visa propose.
What do you mean by visa propose?
Because you had a student visa, she had student visa.
Now you marry me just because of my visa?
No, Lovies, listen. She had a student visa in Korea, so
because I was studying here. I didn't planned to get married.
which has a 1 year period. She had been living in Korea for 1 year, so there was no point to renew the student visa. So we decided to have a marriage visa. Well, but the purpose is but
It's a version of how you propose me, right?
No,
This is
no.
what you fantasize,
no,
right?
at that time, October was our marriage month. But before that, I was preparing the wedding. I made a reservation 1 year before we signed up for the paper.
So you were thinking about to marry me before I realized that I want to get married to you?
Because we need to think positive, right? Because, okay, you were here, you came to Korea to see what's gonna happen, what's going on, but I wanna think positive because, it's not like, it would be very sad. You came to Korea, go back to Brazil. It's very sad. I didn't want to think about that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. We will keep up to date about our marriage.
And guys, tell me here in the comments below what do you think. Are we married or not? And who proposed who?
Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.
Bye bye! Oh, look who's here! Pudding!